we are very proud for the first time to do an online reading of Shakespeare's As You Like It. The scene is set in France, and in the middle, we're going to go off to the forest of Arden. So now, without more ado about nothing, here we have As You Like It. Action. Who starts?
That ain't me.
No, it's me. Is it me? Is there an opening, or is it just...
It's the better Orlando who starts.
No, Tim, is there going to be... Are you reading opening?
Am I reading opening? I thought Nick was reading the opening.
That's what I was waiting for.
Yeah, I haven't got a script.
Orchard of Oliver's House.
Well, I'm pretty
Opening.
Judy. On it.
Right, I'll start then. As I remember, Adam, it was upon this fashion bequeathed to me by will. Charged my brother on his blessing to breed me well, and there begins my sadness. My brother Jacques, he keeps at school and report speaks goldenly of his prophet. For my part, he keeps me rustically at home, or, to speak more properly, stays me here, at home unkempt. For call you the keeping for a gentleman of my birth that differs not from the stalling of an ox. His horses are bred better, but I, his brother, gains nothing under him but growth. For the which his animals on his dunghills are as much bound to him as I. He lets me feed with his hinds, bars me the place of a brother. This is it, Adam, that grieves me, and the spirit of my father, which I thinks is within me, begins to mutiny against this servitude. I will no longer endure it, though yet I know no wise remedy how to avoid it.
Yonder comes me master, your brother.
Go apart, Adam, and thou shalt hear how he will shake me up.
Now, sir, what make you here?
Nothing. I am not taught to make anything.
What mar you then, sir?
Marry, sir, I am helping you to mar that which God made, a poor unworthy brother of yours, with idleness.
Marry, sir, be better employed, and be naught a while.
Shall I keep your hogs and eat husks with them? What prodigal portion have I spent that I should come to such penury?
Know you where you are, sir?
Oh, sir, very well. Here in your orchard.
Know you before whom, sir?
I, better than him I am before knows me. I know you are my eldest brother, and I, in the gentle condition of blood, you should know me. I have as much of my father in me as you, albeit I confess your coming before me is nearer to his reverence.
What, boy?
Come, come, elder brother, you are too young in this.
Wilt thou lay hands on me, villain?
I am no villain. I am the youngest son of Sir Rowland de Boys. He was my father, and he is thrice a villain that says such a father begot villains. Wert thou not my brother, I would not take this hand from thy throat till the other had pulled out of thy tongue for saying so. Thou hast railed on thyself.
Sweet masters, be patient. For your father's remembrance, be at accord.
Let me go, I say.
I will not, till I please, you shall hear me. My father charged you in his will to give me good education. You have trained me like a peasant, obscuring and hiding from me all the gentlemanlike qualities. The spirit of my father grows strong in me, and I will no longer endure it. Therefore, allow me such exercises as may become a gentleman, or give me the poor lottery my father left me by testament. With that, I will go buy my fortunes.
What wilt thou do? Beg when that is spent? Well, sir, get you in. I will not long be troubled with you. You shall have some part of your will. I pray you leave me.
I will no further offend you than becomes me for my good.
Get you with him, you old dog.
Oh, is old dog my reward? Oh, most true. I have lost my teeth in your service. God be with my old master. He would not have spoke such a word.
Is it even so? Begin you to grow upon me. I will physic your rankness, and yet give no 1,000 crowns neither. Follow Dennis.
Calls your worship.
Was not Charles, the Duke's wrestler, here to speak with me?
So please you, he is here at the door and importunes access to you.
Call him in. It'll be a good way, and tomorrow the wrestling is. Ah, good morrow, your worship. Ah, good Monsieur Charles. What's the news at the new
Sorry,
court?
Pete, do really good. Joy, do chart the wrestlers with big vicious wrestler.
Oh, that's cool.
Joy,
Me?
yeah,
Which,
the wrestler,
Charles?
Charles the wrestler. Yeah.
okay. From,
I'll give you the cue.
Well, that's right. Sam, are you following that?
Yes.
Right, well, if you be a big vicious wrestler.
Okay.
Good Monsieur Charles, what's the new news at the new court?
There's no news at the court, sir, but the old news. That is, the old Duke is banished by his younger brother, the new Duke. And 3 or 4 loving lords have put themselves into voluntary exile with him, whose lands and revenues enrich the new Duke. Therefore, he gives them good leave to wander.
Can you tell if Rosalind, the Duke's daughter, be banished with her father?
Oh, no. For the Duke's daughter, her cousin, so loves her, being ever from their cradles bred together, that she would have followed her exile, or have died to stay behind her. She is at the court, and no less beloved of her uncle than his own daughter, and never 2 ladies loved as they do.
Where will the old Duke live?
They say he is already in the forest of Arden, and are many merry men with him. And there they live like the old Robin Hood of England. They say many young gentlemen flock to him every day, and fleet the time carelessly as they did in the golden world.
What, you wrestle tomorrow before the new Duke?
Marry do I, sir, and I come to acquaint you with a matter. I am given, sir, secretly to understand that your younger brother Orlando hath a disposition to come in disguised against me to try a fall. Tomorrow, sir, I wrestle for my credit, and he that escapes me without some broken limb shall acquit him well. Your brother is but young and tender, and for your love I would be loath to foil him, as I must for my own honour if he come in. Therefore, out of love to you, I came hither to acquaint you with all, that either you might stay him from his intendment, or brook such disgrace well as he shall run into, in that it is a thing of his own search, and altogether against my will.
Charles, I thank thee for thy love to me, which thou shalt find I will most kindly requite. I had myself notice of my brother's purpose herein, and have my underhand means laboured to dissuade him from it, but he is resolute. I'll tell thee, Charles, it is the stubbornest young fellow, full of ambition, and envious emulator of every man's good parts, a secret and villainous contriver against me, his natural brother. Therefore, use thy discretion. I had as lief thou didst break his neck as his finger, and thou wert best to look to it. For if thou dost him any slight disgrace, or if he not mightily grace himself on thee, he will never leave thee till he hath ta'en thy life by some indirect means or other. For I assure thee, and almost with tears I speak it, there is not one so young and so villainous this day living. I speak but brotherly of him. But should I anatomize him to thee as he is, I must blush and weep, and thou must look pale and wonder.
I am heartily glad I came hither to you. If he comes tomorrow, I'll give him his payment. If ever he go alone again, I'll never wrestle for prize more. And so God keep your worship.
Farewell, good Charles. Now will I stir this gamester. I hope I shall see an end of him, for my soul, yet I know not why, hates nothing more than he is. Yet he's gentle, never schooled, and yet learned, full of noble device, of all sorts, enchantingly beloved, and indeed so much in the heart of the world, and especially of my own people who best know him, that I am altogether misprized. But it shall not be so for long. This wrestler shall clear all. Nothing remains but that I kindle the boy thither, which now I'll go about.
Duke Frederick's palace.
I pray thee, Rosalind, sweet my coz, be merry.
Dear Celia, I show more mirth than I am mistress of.
And would you yet I were merrier? Unless you could teach me to forget a banished father, you must not learn me how to remember any extraordinary pleasure.
Herein I see thou lovest me not with the full weight that I love thee. If my uncle, thy banished father, had banished thy uncle, the Duke my father, so thou hast still been with me, I could have taught my love to take thy father for mine. So wast thou, if the truth of thy love were to me so righteously tempered as mine is to thee.
Well, I will forget the condition of my estate to rejoice in yours.
You know my father have no child but I, nor none is like to have. And truly, when he dies, thou shalt be his heir. For what he have taken away will be thy father's perforce. I shall render thee again in affection. By mine honour I will, and when I break that oath, let me turn monster. Therefore, my sweet Rose, my dear Rose, be merry.
From henceforth I will, coz, and devise sports. Let me see. What think you of falling in love?
Marry, I prithee do, to make sport withal, but love no man in good earnest, nor no further in sport neither than with safety of a pure blush thou mayst in honour come off again. How now, wit? Whither wander you?
Mistress, you must come away to your father.
Were you made the messenger?
No, by mine honour, but I was bid to come for you.
Where learned you that oath for? Oh, sorry.
You spoke my mind, cuz.
Yes, well done. It's like a magic. Yes. Anyway, to carry on with this story, of a certain knight that swore by his honour they were good pancakes, and swore by his honour the mustard was naught. Now, I'll stand to it. The pancakes were naught, and the mustard was good, and yet was not the knight forsworn.
How prove you that in the great heap of your knowledge?
I marry, now unmuzzle your wisdom. Do you mind? These are all my lines.
Yes, it's all right. You don't usually speak, you see. You're usually pressing buttons. Now, stand you both forth now, stroke your chins, and swear by your beards that I am a knave.
By our bids, if we have them, thou art.
By my knavery, if I had it, then I were. But if you swear by that is not, you are not forsworn. No more was this knight swearing by his honour, for he never had any. Or if he had sworn it away before he ever saw those pancakes or that mustard.
Prithee, who is it thou meanest?
One that old Frederick your father loves.
My father's love is enough to honour him. Enough. Speak no more of him. You'll be whipped for taxation one of these days.
The more the pity that fools may not speak wisely, what wise men do foolishly.
By my troth, thou sayest true. For since the little wit that fools have was silenced, the little foolery that wise men have makes a great show. Here comes Monsieur Lebeau.
With his mouth full of news.
Which he will piss on us, as pigeons feed their young.
Then shall we be news crammed.
All the better, we shall be the more marketable. Bonjour, Monsieur Lebeau, what's the news?
Fair princess, you have lost much good sport.
Sport? Of what colour?
What colour, madam? How shall I answer you?
As wit and fortune will.
Or as the destiny's decree.
Well said. That is laid on with a trouble.
Nay, if I trouble. Nay, if I keep not my rank.
Thou losest thy old smell.
You amaze me, ladies. I would told you of good wrestling, which you have lost the sight of.
You tell us your voice. You tell us the manner of the wrestling.
I will tell you the beginning, and if it please your ladyships, you may see the end, for the best is yet to do. And here, where you are, they're coming to perform it.
Well, the beginning, that is dead and buried.
There comes an old man and his 3 sons.
I could match this beginning with an old tale.
3 proper young men of excellent growth and presence. The eldest of the 3 wrestled with Charles, the Duke's wrestler, which Charles in a moment threw him and broke 3 of his ribs, that there is little hope of life in him. So he served the 2nd, and so the 3rd. Yonder they lie, the poor old man, their father, making such pitiful dole over them that all the beholders take his part with weeping.
Alas!
But what is the sport, monsieur, that the ladies have lost?
What, this that I speak of?
Thus that men may grow ever wiser. It is the first time that I ever heard breaking of ribs was sport for ladies.
Oh, I promise thee.
But is there any else longs to see this broken music in his sides? Is there yet another dotes upon rib breaking? Shall we see this wrestling, cousin?
Oh, you must if you stay here, for here is the place appointed for the wrestling, and they're ready to perform it.
Yonder, sure they are coming. Let us now stay and see it.
On, since the youth will not be entreated, his own peril on his forwardness.
Is yonder the man?
Even he, madam. Poor.
Alas, he is too young, yet he looks successfully.
Now, daughter and cousin, art you crept hither to see the wrestling?
Aye, my liege, so please you give us leave?
You will take little delight in it, I can tell you. There is such odds in the man. In pity of the challenger's youth, I would fain dissuade him, but he will not be entreated. Speak to him, ladies. See if you can move him.
Call him hither, good Monsieur Lebeau.
Do so. I'll not be by.
Monsieur the Challenger, the princesses call for you.
I attend them with all respect and duty.
Young man, have you challenged Charles the wrestler?
No, fair princess, he is the general challenger. I combat in, as others do, to try with him the strength of my youth.
Young gentleman, your spirits are too bold for your years. You've seen cruel proof of this man's strength. We pray you, for your own sake, to embrace your own safety and give over this attempt.
Do, young sir. Your reputation shall not therefore be misprized. We will make it our suit to the Duke that the wrestling might not go forward.
I beseech you, punish me not with your hard thoughts, wherein I confess me much guilty to deny so fair and excellent ladies anything. But let your fair eyes and gentle wishes go with me to my trial, wherein if I be foiled, there is but one shamed that was never gracious. If I be killed, but one dead that was willing to be so. I shall do my friends no wrong. I have none to lament me. The world no injury. For in it I have nothing, only the world I fill up a place, which may be better supplied when I have made it empty.
The little strength I have, I would it were with you.
And mine, to eke hers out.
Fare you well. Pray heaven I be deceived in you.
Your heart's desires be with you.
Where is this young gallant that is so desirous to lie with his mother?
Sorry, I needed to lie down after all that wrestling. Come, where is this young gallant that is so desirous to lie with his mother Earth?
Ready, sir, but his will hath it in a more modest working.
Yes. Yes, my iPad is just. Is it me? Is it Duke Frederick?
It
Yes.
is.
My iPad. I have to check this. Has just shot on 20 pages. So
Yeah.
how does that?
I'll continue. No, I warrant your grace. You shall not
What number line it is?
him to a second that have so mightily persuaded him from a first.
No, the number of the line I can find.
But about 186, roughly.
186.
You
Sorry.
shall try but one fall, your grace. That's what you say.
Is that you shall try but one fall?
Yes.
Sorry. Okay.
No, I warrant your grace. You shall not entreat him to a second that have so mightily persuaded him from a first.
And you mean to mock me after you should not have mocked me before. But come your ways.
Now Hercules be thy speed, young man.
I would I were invisible, to catch the strong fellow by the leg.
If you'd like to wrestle now, that would be bad.
Nick.
A bit of mine, please.
Oh, excellent young man.
If
Give
I'd
me
a
a bit of a
thunderbolt in
turn,
mine
everyone.
eye, I can tell who should
Call an
down.
ambulance.
No more. No more.
Yes, I beseech your grace, I am not yet well breathed.
Yeah, if you get the joke, I'm not yet
Right.
well breathed.
Yeah.
Pete, can you make your head a bit bigger? Can you get a bit closer? I know it's tricky. Right, sorry, on we go.
How dost thou, Charles?
He cannot speak, my lord.
Get him away. What is thy name, young man?
Orlando, my liege, the youngest son of Sir Roland de Boys.
I would thou had been son to some man else. The world esteemed thy father honourable, but I did find him still mine enemy. And thou hadst have better pleased me with this deed, hadst thou descended from another house. But fare thee well. Thou art a gallant youth. I would thou hadst told me of another father.
Were my father, cuz, would I do this?
I am more proud to be Sir Roland's son, his youngest son, and would not change that calling to be an adopted heir to Frederick.
My father loves Sir Roland as his soul, and all the world was of my father's mind. Had I before known this young man his son, I should have given him tears unto entreaties ere he should thus have ventured.
Gentle cousin, let us go thank him and encourage him. My father's rough and envious disposition sticks me at heart. Sir, you have well deserved. If you do keep your promises and love, but justly, as you have exceeded all promise, your mistress shall be happy.
Gentlemen, I'm going to cough at you. Wear this for me. One out of suits with fortune that could give more, but that her hand lack means. Shall we go, cuz?
Aye. Fare you well, fair gentlemen.
And I think if you, yes, it could be a kind of sort of sigh from both of you. Shall we go, cuz? As you pull yourself together. Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Go from sir, you have.
Oh, okay. Sir, you have well deserved. If you do keep your promises and love, but justly, as you have exceeded all promise, your mistress shall be happy.
Gentlemen, wear this for me. One out of suits with fortune that could give more, but that her hand lacks, means. Shall we go, cuz?
Aye. Fare you well, fair gentlemen.
Can I not say I thank you? My better parts are all thrown down.
Yeah,
And
I know. But it's, can I not say thank you? I mean,
Right.
I'm tongue-tied.
Okay. Can I not say I thank you? My better parts are all thrown down, and that which here stands up is but a quintain, a mere lifeless block.
He calls us back. My pride fell with my fortunes. I'll ask him what he would. Did you call, sir? Sir, you have wrestled well and overthrown more than your enemies.
Will you go, cuz?
Have with you. Fare you well.
Passion hangs these weights upon my tongue. I cannot speak to her, yet she urged conference. Oh, poor Orlando, thou art overthrown. Or Charles, or something weaker masters thee.
Good sir, I do in friendship counsel you to leave this place, albeit you have deserved high commendation, true applause, and love. Ooh. Yet such is now the Duke's condition that he misconstrues all that you have done.
I thank you, sir, and pray you tell me this. Which of the two was daughter of the Duke that here was at the wrestling?
Neither his daughter, if we judge by manners, but yet indeed the lesser is his daughter. The other is daughter to the banished Duke, and here detained by her usurping uncle to keep his daughter company, whose loves are dearer than the natural bond of sisters. But I can tell you that of late this Duke had ta'en displeasure against his gentle niece, grounded upon no other argument but that the people praise her for her virtues, and pity her for her good father's sake, and on my life, his malice against the lady will suddenly break forth. Sir, fare you well. Hereafter, in a better world than this, I shall desire more love and knowledge of you.
I rest much bounden to you. Fare you well.
Bye.
Thus must I from the smoke into the smother, from tyrant Duke unto a tyrant brother, but heavenly Rosalind.
Okay, we now go to the forest of Arden. The snow is gently falling, and who waits for us but the banished Duke Senior?
In the palace.
Pardon? Sorry, in the palace.
Sorry, I couldn't let you go.
Nick, come on.
He's cut that scene, obviously.
It was beautiful.
How bad tempered Frederick is getting.
Okay. Why, cousin? Why, Rosalind? Cupid have mercy, not a word.
Sorry, I'm giggling. Oh, not one to throw at a dog.
No, thy words are too precious to be cast away upon curs. Throw some at me. Come, lame me with reason.
Then there were two cousins laid up, when the one should be lamed with reasons and the other mad without any.
But is this all for your father?
No, some of it is for my child's father. Is that meant to be father's child?
No, it
is child's father?
Yeah, your child's father, because you're going to have a baby with him.
I've decided.
And then you realise what you said.
Okay. Okay. So I'm just being crazy brazen there. Okay. No, some of it is for my child's father.
No, my child's father.
My upward inflect?
Yeah. But some of it
is for my child's father. Yes?
No, I think my child's
father.
Yeah, I think, yeah.
No, some of it is for my child's father. Oh, how full of briars is this working day world.
They are but burrs, cousin, thrown upon thee in holiday foolery. If we walk not in the trodden paths, our very petticoats will catch them.
I could shake them off my coat. These burrs are in my heart.
Hem them away.
I would try if I could cry hem and have him.
Come, come, wrestle with thy affections.
Oh, they take the part of a better wrestler than myself.
But turning these jests out of service, let us talk in good earnest. Is it possible, on such a sudden, you should fall into so strong a liking with old Sir Roland's youngest son?
The Duke, my father, loved his father dearly.
Doth it therefore ensure that you should love his son dearly? By this kind of chase I should hate him, for my father hated his father dearly. Yet I hate not Orlando.
No, Faith, hate him not for my sake.
Why should I not? Doth he not deserve well?
Let me love him for that, and you do love him because I do. Look, here comes the Duke.
With his eyes full of anger.
Mistress, dispatch you with your safest haste, and get thee from our court.
Me, uncle?
You, cousin, within these 10 days, if that thou beest found so near our public court as 20 miles, thou diest for it.
I do beseech your grace, let me know the knowledge of my fault. Bear with me. If with myself I hold intelligence or have acquaintance with mine own desires, if that I do not dream or be not frantic, as I do trust I am not, then, dear uncle, never so much as in thought unborn did I offend your highness.
Thus do all traitors. If their purgation did consist in words, they are as innocent as grace itself. Let it suffice thee that I trust thee not.
Yet your mistrust cannot make me traitor. Tell me whereon the likelihood depends.
Thou art thy father's daughter, that's enough.
So was I when your highness took his dukedom. So was I when your highness banished him. Treason is not inherited, my lord. Or if we did derive it from our friends, what's that to me? My father was no traitor. Then, good my liege, mistake me not so much to think my poverty is treacherous.
Dear sovereign, hear me speak.
Aye, Celia, we stayed her for your sake, else had she with her father ranged along.
I did not then entreat to have her stay. It was your pleasure and your own remorse. I was too young that time to value her, but I know her but now I know her. If she be a traitor, why so am I. We still have slept, ate together, and wheresoever we went, like Juno's swans, still we went coupled and inseparable.
Hold on. She is too subtle for thee, and her smoothness, her very silence, and her patience speak to the people, and they pity her. Thou art a fool. She robs thee of thy name, and thou wilt show more bright and seem more virtuous when she's gone. Then open not thy lips. Firm and irrevocable is my doom, which I have passed upon her. She's banished.
Pronounce that sentence then on me, my liege. I cannot live out of her company.
You are a fool. You, niece, provide yourself. If you outstay the time, upon mine honour and in the greatness of my word, you die.
Oh, my dear Rosalind, whither wilt thou go? Wilt thou change fathers? I will give thee mine. I charge thee, be not more grieved than I am.
I have more cause.
Thou hast not, cousin. Prithee be cheerful. Knowest thou not the Duke hath banished me, his daughter?
That he hath not.
No, have not. Rosalind lacks then the love which teacheth thee that thou and I are one. Shall we be sundered? Shall we part, sweet girl? No. Let my father seek another heir. Therefore devise with me how we may fly, whither to go and what to bear with us. And do not seek to take your change upon you, to bear your griefs yourself and leave me out. For by this heaven, now at our sorrows pale, say what thou canst, I'll go along with thee.
Why, whither shall we go?
To seek my uncle in the forest of Arden.
Alas, what danger will it be to us, maids as we are, to travel so far forth? To travel forth so far? Beauty provoketh thieves sooner than gold.
I'll put myself in poor and mean attire, and with some kind of umber smirch my face, the like you do. So shall we pass along and never stir assailants.
Were it not better, because I am more than common tall, that I did suit me all points like a man? A gallant kirtle axe upon my thigh, a boar spear in my hand, and in my heart lie there what hidden woman's fear their will. We'll have a swashing and a martial outside, as many other mannish cowards have that do outface it with their semblances.
What shall I call thee when thou art a man?
I'll have no worse name than Jove's own page, and therefore look you call me Ganymede. But what will you be called?
Something that have a reference to my state. No longer Celia, but Aliena.
But cousin, what if we essay to steal the clownish fool out of your father's court? Would he not be comfort to our travel?
He'll go along all the wide world with me. Leave me alone to woo him. Let's away and get our jewels and our wealth together. Devise the fittest time and safest way to hide us from pursuit that will be made after my flight. Now we go in content to liberty and not to banishment.
Really give it an end when you've got those couplets at the end of
Yeah.
some welly. Next scene. Who's on first?
It's Duke Signor, Amiens, and
it's the forest scene, isn't it? I don't want to.
Yeah, and Lords. First Lord.
Okay. Who hasn't got anything to read at the moment? Tim, do First Lord for us, would you? Is that all right, Tim? You're quick muted.
Yep, I'm all right. I'm unmuted now. Okay, I'll do First Lord.
It's just an interesting thing, Judy. I don't know where you've got your script. It comes over really well, whereas other people are having to look off at the side.
I've got Zoom is like half of my laptop screen and the page is the other one. So when I'm scrolling on one, I can still see you. So my eyes are probably only just under camera.
So you can,
that's good.
You can split the screen, can you?
You can actually load a script on Zoom. But I don't know how you do it, but you can actually load a script on Zoom.
There is a way of doing it. I'm not sure either. But if you've got it on a PC or a laptop, sorry for the lives in the forest of Arden, they are talking about technical issues. If you load it and then have to change tab, you'll block your video basically. So it's better if you kind of make your page half size and then make the other one half size, so you don't have to kind of preference one over the other. They'll both exist on the same thing. But thank you.
No way, it just works well because you're actually sort of communicating with it. All right, the Forest of Arden, where it is gently snowing. Have we got a Duke Senior? Neil, someone who hasn't read much, because you're.
I can do it.
Who can?
Lexi.
Oh, please, Lexi. Yes, thank you. Yeah.
Now, my co-mates and brothers in exile, hath not old custom made this life more sweet than that of painted pomp? Are not these woods more free from peril than the envious court? Here feel we but the penalty of Adam, the season's difference as the icy fang and churlish chiding of the winter's wind, which, when it bites and blows upon my body, even till I shrink with cold, I smile and say, this is no flattery. These are counsellors that feelingly persuade me what I am. Oh, sweet are the uses of adversity, and this our life, exempt from public haunt, finds tongues in trees, books in the running brooks, sermons in stones, and good in everything. I would not change it.
Happy is your grace that translate the stubbornness of fortune into so quiet and so sweet a style.
Come, shall we go and kill us venison? and yet it irks me the poor dappled fools, being native burghers of this desert city, should in their own confines with forked heads have their round haunches gored.
Indeed, my lord, the melancholy Jacques grieves at that, and in that kind swears you do more usurp than doth your brother that hath banished you. Today my lord Amiens and myself did steal behind him as he lay along under an oak whose antique root peeps out, upon the brook that brawls along this wood, to the which place a poor sequestered stag, that from the hunter's aim had taken a hurt, did come to languish. And indeed, my lord, the wretched animal heaved forth such groans that their discharge did stretch his leathern coat almost to bursting, and the big round tears that coursed one another down his innocent nose in piteous chase, and thus the hairy fool, much marked by the melancholy Jacques, stood on the extremest verge of this swift brook, augmenting it with tears.
Now, can I just say, Jaques will be pronounced Jaques, rather than that, not the French way. It's like
okay.
But what said Jaques? Did he not moralize this spectacle?
Oh yes, into 1,000 smiles. First for his weeping into this needless stream.
I think it's
Poor dear
I
Coffee.
think it's similes, Amiens. It's not smiles, it should be similes. It may be a misprint in the script, but...
Oh, no, it's me, yeah. Sorry. Oh, yes, into 1,000 similes. First for his weeping into the needless stream. Poor dear, quoth he. Thou makest a testament, as worldlings do, giving thy sum of more to that which he had too much. Then being there alone, left he, and abandoned of his velvet friends. 'Tis right, quoth he. Thus misery doth part the flux of company. Anon the careless herd, full of the pasture, jumps along by him, and never stays to greet him. Ay, quoth Jaques, sweep on, you fat greasy citizens. 'Tis just the fashion. Wherefore do you look upon the poor and broken bankrupt there? Thus most incentively he pierceth through the body of the country, city, court, ye, and of this our life, swearing that he and mere usurpers, tyrants, and what's worse, to fright the animals and to kill them up in their assigned and native dwelling place.
And did you leave him in this contemplation?
Someone read in, jump in.
Sorry. We did, my lord, weeping and commenting upon the sobbing deer.
Show me the place. I love to cope him in these sullen fits, for then he's full of matter.
I'll bring you to him straight.
Poor old Jaques. Good for a laugh. Right, on we go. Yeah. I'm really sorry. I spent half an hour trying to get my script lined up with you here. But, right, carry on. Is it Neil?
It's Duke Frederick.
Duke Frederick.
Act 2, Scene 2, Frederick angry, a room in the palace.
Can I have the line number? My screen has gone again. Just a minute.
It's page 15, about line 7 or 8. It's Act 2, Scene 2, Frederick angry.
Frederick angry, a room in the palace.
Yep.
Can it be possible that no man saw them? It cannot be. Such villains of my court are of consent and sufferance in this.
I cannot hear of that. I cannot hear of any that did see her. The ladies, her attendants of her chamber, saw her bed, and in the morning early they found the bed untreasured of their mistress.
My lord, the Roynish clown at whom so oft your grace was wont to laugh is also missing. Hesperia, the princess's gentlewoman, confesses that she secretly overheard your daughter and her cousin much commend the parts and graces of the wrestler that did but lately foil the sinewy Charles, and she believes, wherever they are gone, that youth is surely in their company.
Send to his brother Fetch that gallant hither. I'll make him find him. Do this suddenly, and let not search and inquisition quail to bring again these foolish runaways.
Act 2, Scene 3, Orlando flees. Before Oliver's house, enter Orlando and Adam.
Who's there?
What? My young master? Oh, my gentle master! Oh, my sweet master! Oh, you memory of old Sir Roland! Why? What make you here? Why would you be so fond to overcome the bonny prizer of the humorous Duke? Know you not, master, to some kind of men their graces serve them but as enemies? No more do yours. Your virtues, gentle master, are sanctified and holy traitors to you.
Why, what's the matter?
Oh, unhappy youth, come not within these doors. Within this roof the enemy of all their graces lives. Your brother, no, brother, yet the son, or yet not the son. Thou will not call him son of him I was about to call his father. I've heard your praises, and this night he means to burn the lodging where you used to lie, and you within it. If he fail of that, he will have other means to cut you off. I have overheard him and his practices. This is no place, this house is but a butchery. Abhor it, fear it, and do not enter it.
Why, whither, Adam, wouldst thou have me go?
Oh, no matter whither, so you come not here.
What wilt thou have me do? Have me go and beg my food, or with a base and boisterous sword enforce a thievish living on the common road?
No.
This I must do, or know not what I do. Yet this I will not do how I can. I rather will subject me to the malice of a diverted blood and bloody brother.
But do not so. I have 500 crowns, the thrifty hire I saved under your father, which I did store to be my foster nurse, which service should in my old limbs lie lame, and unregarded age in corners thrown. Take that, and he that doth the ravens feed, yea, providently caters for the sparrow, be comfort to my age. Here is the gold, and all this I give to you. Let me be your servant. Though I look old, yet I am strong and lusty, for in my youth I never did apply hot and rebellious liquors in my blood. Therefore my age is like a lusty winter, frosty, but kindly. Let me go with you. I'll do the service of a younger man in all your business and necessities.
Oh, good old man, how well in thee appears the constant service of the antique world, when service sweat for duty, not for meed. Thou art not for the fashion of these times, where none will sweat but for promotion. But come thy ways, we'll go along together, and ere we have thy youthful wages spent, we'll light upon some settled low content.
Master, go on, and I will follow thee to the last gasp with truth and loyalty. For 17 years till now, almost 80 here I lived I, but now live I here no more. At 17 years many their fortunes seek, but at 80 it is too late a week. Yet fortune cannot recompense me better than to die well and not my master's debtor.
Boom, boom, boom. Back in the forest.
Oh, Jupiter, how weary are my spirits.
Care not for my spirits if my legs were not weary.
I could find in my heart to disgrace my man's apparel and to cry like a woman. But I must comfort the weaker vessel, as doublet and hose ought to show itself courageous to petticoat. Therefore courage, good Aliena.
I pray you bear with me. I cannot go no further.
For my part, I'd rather bear with you than bear you.
Well, this is the forest of Arden.
Aye, now am I in Arden. More fool I. When I was at home, I was in a better place. But travellers must be content.
Aye, be so, good Touchstone. Look you, who comes here? A young man and an old in solemn talk.
That is the way to make her scorn you still.
Oh, Corin, that thou knewest how I do love her.
I partly guess, for I have loved ere now.
No, Karen, being old thou canst not guess, though in thy youth thou wast as true a lover as ever sighed upon a midnight pillow. But if thy love were ever like to mine, sure I think never man loved so. How many actions most ridiculous hast thou been drawn to by thy fantasy?
Into 1,000 that I have forgotten.
Oh, thou didst then ne'er love so heartily. If thou rememberest not the slightest folly that ever love did make thee run into, thou hast not loved. Or if thou hast not sat as I do now, wearying thy hearer with thy mistress' praise, thou hast not loved. Or if thou hast not broke from company abruptly, as my passion now makes me, thou hast not loved. Oh, Phoebe! Phoebe! Phoebe!
Alas, poor shepherd! Searching of thy wound, I have by hard adventure found mine own.
And I mine. I remember when I was in love, I broke my sword coming a night. Deary me. That's what it was. I broke my sword coming a night to Jane's smile. And I remember the kissing of her batlet and the cow's dugs and that pretty chopped hands that her pretty chopped hands had melted. And I remember the wooing.
I think, Simon, you could actually put a little bit of mime there with your sort of.
I probably could, yes. I probably could. My hands are slightly useless at the moment. My hands are slightly useless at the moment, but I won't go into that. But yes. I remember the kissing of a batlet and the cow's dugs that her pretty chopped hands had. And I remembered a wooing of a peas cod instead of her, from whom I took 2 cods, and giving her them again, said with weeping tears, "Wear these for my sake." We that are true lovers running to strange capers, but as all is true lovers running, but as all is mortal in nature, so is all nature in love mortal in folly.
Thou speakest wiser than thou art whereof.
Nay, I shall ne'er be aware of mine own wit till I break my shins against it.
Jove, Jove, this shepherd's passion is much upon my fashion.
And mine, but it grows something still within me.
I pray you, one of you question yon man, if he have for gold, he will give us any food. I faint almost to death.
Amy, you're desperate. The 2 of them are sort of talking about things, and you just want to have some food and go to sleep. Okay, so okay.
Yeah, should I do that again?
Yeah.
Okay. I pray you, one of you question yond man, if he for gold, he will give us any food. I faint almost to death.
Holla, you clown!
He's full, he's not thy kinsman.
Who calls?
Or better, sir.
Else are they very wretched?
Peace, I say. Good even to you, friend.
And to you, gentle sir, and to you all.
I prithee, shepherd, if that love or gold can in this desert place buy entertainment, bring us where we may rest ourselves and feed. Here's a young maid with travel much oppressed and faints for succour.
Fair sir, I pity her, and wish, for her sake more than for mine own, my fortunes were more able to relieve her. But I am shepherd to another man, and do not shear the fleeces that I graze. My master is of churlish disposition, and little recks to find the way to heaven by doing deeds of hospitality. Besides, his coat, his flocks, and bounds of feed are now on sale, and at our sheepcot now. By reason of his absence, there is nothing that you will feed on. But what is, come see, and in my voice most welcome shall you be.
What is he that shall buy his flock and pasture?
That young swain that you saw here but erewhile, that little cares for buying anything.
I pray thee, if it stand with honesty, buy thou the cottage, pasture, and the flock, and thou shalt have to pay for it of us.
And we will mend thy wages. I like this place and could willingly waste my time in it.
Assuredly, the thing is to be sold. Go with me. If you like upon report the soil, the profit, and this kind of life, I will your very faithful feeder be, and buy it with your gold right suddenly.
Act 2, Scene 5. Enter Jax.
Jaques.
Jaques.
Under the
Tom.
greenwood tree, who loves to lie with me, and turn his merry note unto the sweet bird's throat. Come hither, come hither, come hither. Here shall he see no enemy, but winter and rough weather.
More, I prithee more.
It will make you melancholy, Monsieur Jacques.
No, I thank it. More, I prithee more. I can suck melancholy out of a song as weasel sucks eggs.
Ross, you're Jaques, aren't you? Ross?
What? You told me to be.
No, I think
there's two, isn't there?
It's the other Jaques.
Which
yeah.
one am I? Not this one.
No, the other one.
Oh,
There are three Jaques. I'm sorry, I'll give you.
In about 3
Sorry,
hours' time,
Ross.
Lexi.
No, it's all right.
Sorry, Ross.
It's all right.
Oh, nice.
Okay. More. I prithee more.
It will make you melancholy, Monsieur Jacques.
I thank it. I prithee more. I can suck melancholy out of a song as a weasel sucks eggs. I prithee more.
My voice is ragged. I know I cannot please you.
I do not desire you to please me. I do desire you to sing. Come, more, another stanzo. Call you them stanzos?
What you will, Monsieur Jacques.
Nay, I care not for their names. They owe me nothing. Will you sing?
More at your request than to please myself.
Well then, if ever I thank any man, I'll thank you. Come, sing, and you that will not, hold your tongues.
Well, I'll end the song. Sirs, cover the while. The Duke will drink under this tree. He hath been all this day to look you.
And I've been all this day to avoid him. He is too disputable for my company. I think of as many matters as he, but I give heaven thanks and make no boast of them. Come, warble, come.
Who doth ambitions shun, and loves to live I the sun.
In the sun. I
In the
apostrophe is always in Shakespeare. It's not
Yeah.
I. Yeah.
Sorry. And loves to live in the sun, seeking the food he eats, and pleased with what he gets. Come hither, come hither, come hither, he shall he see no enemy, but winter and rough weather.
I'll give you a verse to this note that I made yesterday, in despite of my invention.
And I'll sing it.
Thus it goes. If it do come to pass that any man turn ass, leaving his wealth and ease, a stubborn will to please, duck dammy, duck dammy, duck dammy. Here shall he see gross fools as he, and if he will come to me.
What's that, duck dammy?
It is a Greek invocation to call fools into a circle. I'll go sleep if I can. If I cannot, I'll rail against all the firstborn of Egypt.
And I'll go seek the Duke. His banquet is prepared.
Act 2, Scene 6. Adam Week, the forest. Enter Orlando and Adam.
Dear master, I can go no further. Oh, I die for food. Here lie I down and measure out my grave. Farewell, kind master.
Why, how now, Adam? No greater heart in thee. Live a little, comfort a little, cheer thyself a little. If this uncouth...
Come on.
Nick, it's Simon, sorry.
I know Simon, but I know it's a year's a long time.
Thy conceit is nearer death than thy powers. For my sake be comfortable. Hold death a while at thy arm's end. I will be here be with thee presently. And if I bring thee not something to eat, I will give thee leave to die. But if thou diest before I come, thou art a mocker of my labour. Well said. Thou lookest cheerly, and I'll be with thee quickly. Yet thou liest in the bleak air. Come, I will bear thee to some shelter, and thou shalt not die for lack of a dinner. If there live anything in this desert, cheerly, good Adam.
Act 2, Scene 6, All the World. Duke Senior.
Oh, am I Duke Senior and Jaquise?
Would you be Duke Senior for now? Yeah.
Okie dokie. I think he'd be transformed into a beast, for I can nowhere find him like a man.
My lord, he is but even now gone hence. Here was he merry, hearing of a song.
If he, compact of jars, grow musical, we shall have shortly discord in the spheres. Go, seek him. Tell him I would speak with
Did
him.
you laugh at the Duke's jokes, Robert?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Okay, I'll be going, yeah.
Oh,
Tell him I would speak with him.
He saves my labour by his own approach.
Why, how now, monsieur? What a life is this, that your poor friends must woo your company? What, you look merrily.
A fool! A fool! I met a fool in the forest, a motley fool, a miserable world. As I do live by food, I met a fool who laid him down and basked him in the sun, and railed on Lady Fortune in good terms, in good set terms, and yet a motley fool. Good morrow, fool, quoth I. No, sir, quoth he, call me not fool till heaven hath sent me fortune. And then he drew a dial from his poke, and, looking on it with a lacklustre eye, says very wisely, it is 10 o'clock. Thus we may see, quoth he, how the world wags. 'Tis but an hour ago since it was 9, and after 1 hour more 'twill be 11. And so from hour to hour we ripe and ripe, and then from hour to hour we rot and rot. And thereby hangs a tale. When I did hear the motley fool thus moral on the time, my lungs began to crow like chanticleer, that fools should be so deep contemplative, and I did laugh sans intermission. An hour by this style. O noble fool, a worthy fool, motley is the only colour.
What fool is this?
Oh, worthy fool, one that hath been a courtier, and says, if ladies be but young and fair, they have the gift to know it. And in his brain, which is as dry as the remainder biscuit after a voyage, he hath strange places crammed with observation, the which he vents in mangled forms. Oh, that I were a fool! I am ambitious for a motley coat.
Thou shalt have one.
It is my only suit, provided that you weed your better judgments of all opinion that grows rank in them, that I am wise. I must have liberty withal, as large a charter as the wind, to blow on whom I please, for so fools have. And they that are most galled with my folly, they most must laugh. And why, sir, must they so? The why is plain as way to parish church. He that a fool doth very wisely hit, doth very foolishly, although he's smart, not to seem senseless of the bob. If not, the wise man's folly is anatomized, even by the squandering glances of the fool. Invest me in my motley, give me leave to speak my mind, and I will through and through cleanse the foul body of the infected world, if they will patiently receive my medicine.
Ha! Fie on thee! I can tell what thou wouldst do.
What, for a counter? Would I do but good?
Most mischievous foul sin in chiding sin, for thou thyself hast been a libertine. as sensual as the brutish sting itself, and all the embossed sores and headed evils that thou, with license of free foot, hast caught, wouldst thou disgorge into the general world?
Why, who cries out on pride that can therein tax any private party? Doth it not flow as hugely as the sea? What woman in the city do I name, when that I say the city woman bears the cost of princes on unworthy shoulders? Who can come in and say that I mean her, when such a one as she, such is her neighbour? There then, how then? What then? Let me see wherein my tongue hath wronged him. If it do him right, then he hath wronged himself. If he be free, why then my taxing like a wild goose flies unclaimed of any man. Oh, but who comes here? Oh, he's got stuck in the bushes.
I'm here. Forbear and eat no more.
Why, I have et none yet.
Nor shalt you not. Nor shalt not till necessity be served.
What kind should this cock come of?
Art thou this boldened man by thy distress, or else a rude despiser of good manners, that in civility thou seemest so empty?
You touched my vein at first. The thorny point of bare distress had ta'en me from the show of smooth civility. Yet am I inland bred and know some nurture. But forbear, I say. He dies that touches any of this fruit, till I and my affairs are answered.
And you will not be answered with reason. I must die.
What would you have? Your gentleness shall force more than your force move us to gentleness.
I almost die for food, and let me have it.
Sit down and feed, and welcome to our table.
Speak you so gently? Pardon me, I pray you. I thought that all things had been savage here, and therefore put I on the countenance of stern commandment. But whatever you are in this desert, inaccessible under the shade of melancholy boughs, lose and neglect the creeping hours of time, if ever you have looked on better days, if ever been where bells have knolled to church, if ever sat at any good man's feast, if ever from your eyelids wiped a tear, and know what 'tis to pity and be pitied. Let my gentleness my strong enforcement be, in which the hope I blush and hide my sword.
True is it we have seen better days, and have with holy bell been knolled to church, and sat at good men's feasts, and wiped our eyes of drops that sacred pity hath engendered. And therefore sit you down in gentleness, and take upon command what help we have, that to your wanting may be ministered.
Then but forbear your food a little while. Whilst like a doe I go on to find my fawn and give it food. There is an old poor man, who after me hath many a weary step limped in pure love, till he be first sufficed, oppressed with two weak evils, age and hunger. I will not touch a bit.
Go, find him out, and we will nothing waste till your return.
I thank ye, and be blessed for your good comfort.
Thou seest, we are not all alone, unhappy. This wide and universal theatre presents more woeful pageants than the scene wherein we play in.
All the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely players. They have their exits and their entrances, and one man in his time plays many parts, his acts being 7 ages. At first, the infant mewling and puking in the nurse's arms. Then the whining schoolboy, with his satchel and shining morning face, creeping like snail unwillingly to school. And then the lover, sighing like a furnace, with a woeful ballad made to his mistress' eyebrow. Then a soldier, full of strange odes, bearded like the pard, jealous in honour, sudden and quick in quarrel, seeking the bubble reputation even in the cannon's mouth. Boom. And then the justice, in fair round belly, with good capon line, with eyes severe and beard of formal cut, full of wise saws and clever instances. And so he plays his part. The 6th Age shifts into the lean and slippered pantaloon. With pouch on side, spectacles on nose, his youthful hose well saved, a world too wide for his shrunk shrank. And his big manly voice turning again to childish treble, pipes and whistles in its sound. Last scene of all that ends this strange, eventful history is second childishness and mere oblivion. Sans teeth, sans eyes, sans taste, sans everything.
Welcome. Set down your venerable burthen and let him feed.
I thank you most for him.
So I do need. Scarce can speak to thank you for myself.
Welcome. Fall to. I will not trouble you as yet to question you about your fortunes. Give us some music, and good cousin, sing.
Blow, blow, thou winter wind, thou art not so unkind as man's ingratitude. Thy tooth is not so keen, because thou art not seen, or lo thy breath be rude. Hi ho, sing, hi ho, unto the green holly. Most friendship is feigning, most loving mere folly. Then hi ho, the holly. This life is most jolly. Freeze, freeze, thou bitter sky. Thou dost not bite so nigh, as benefits forgot. Lo thou the waters warp. Thy sting is not so sharp, as friend remembered not. Hi ho, sing.
Okay, well done. Thank you. Right, Lexi.
If that you were the good Sir Roland's son, as you have whispered faithfully you were, and as mine eye doth his effigies witness most truly limed and living in your face, be truly welcome hither. I am the Duke that loved your father. The residue of your fortune, go to my cape and tell me, good old man, thou art right welcome as thy master is. Support him by the arm, give me your hand, and let me all your fortunes understand.
Right. Thank you very much, everybody. Some lovely reading there.
Okay. Nick, just I take it that's where the interval is going to be.
Yeah, yeah. With the snow falling late. Can I be very, can you put up with a few notes from me? I know Sam's got to go, but if I can just share one or two thoughts with you, because it will apply to everybody.